cutting edge guests, awesome, uncensored, jaw-dropping information, plus funny memes, good deeds, and loads of laughter. Kind of have it all. Ladies and gentlemen, if your soul's awake, then welcome, because you're in the right place. Well, good day to you, ladies and gentlemen, and boys and girls. Welcome back to the Sovereign Soul Program, a show which stands for love, levity, and liberty, because after all, love is the greatest power everywhere, and laughter is the best medicine, especially covering serious topics in all matters, ancient, current, and quantum, right? Absolutely. It's a mantra. Our mascot, the Bling Buddha you see over my shoulder, he fully subscribes to it as he fires red pills from his 9mm and smiling. He's wearing a Precious Metals necklace, all blinged out, of course, with a digital asset token hanging from it. I am your host, Brad Wozny, and I'm grateful to you divine lions and lionesses for tuning in. I'm fortunate to become a Reiki master in 2015, and my soul's purpose is to help uplift humanity's consciousness with song and story. No guest at this moment. I just wanted to come on. It's been a few days and share some updates with all of you. You will see a lot of guest interviews coming out here very shortly. Real quick, I actually just recorded recently with the CEO of Roots Brands, Clayton Thomas, a 2-hour incredible interview going into the massive background that they have of case studies they're starting to publish of what Roots, the zero-in product, which is the world's first quantum pharmaceutical. It literally taps into quantum level consciousness. And by the way, these are all natural. You take it and it rapidly boosts clarity as well as creativity. So some of the studies just on the zero-in product, which is amazing. There's a 84-year-old man who is a retired motorcycle drag racer. Remember those Top Fuel cars? They're side by side, and they call it the tree, right? You've got stoplights. It's red, then it goes yellow, 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 flashes green, and boom, they take off. Well, you do the same thing on a motorcycle. What, 250, 300 miles an hour? It's just insane. He's 84 years old, and he's shattering records with 20 and 25-year-olds. Like, it's almost like nobody can touch him. In fact, one of the records he just shattered was getting off the line at a 0.000 second time. What that means is the moment that the light goes green, he's already on the throttle. So what we've seen from a quantum consciousness level with Roots, and myself first being a customer of them for 9 months and knowing how incredible it is. And there's so many other studies coming up, by the way, too, with elite athletes and business performers. And you'll hear one shortly from one of my guests. 3 guests I had on. They're all doing Roots, and they're all doing amazing in all of their lives and everywhere. Well, these athletes are able to increase their reaction time, not 5% or 10%, 40%. So just think if you're an NBA player or you're a golfer and you go out every weekend, or you're in a girls shoot club and you're going out every Thursday night and you're shooting with the girls and you're just sending those rounds down range, or you're golfing and you are just dramatically boosting the impact of your golf game. This is what zero-in's doing. Also, they even had with the Restore product they have as part of the Trinity Pack Plus, they have people who have had IBS all their lives, irritable bowel syndrome. In 2 days, the symptoms have all but disappeared. So all their lives with IBS, and now they're doing a Trinity Pack Plus. And then in addition to that, we have kids they have clinical studies twice. Big Pharma took them to court over this, and they were able to prove that they're all natural. These are all natural. Reverse the effects of the bad stuff in the arms that they've been putting in. So there's hope for humanity. And that's what I really enjoy. So there's lots that you are going to see about Roots very shortly in a very public way, because this is one of those conscious companies for humanity that we're going to write about in the new history books. And if you stay tuned at the end of this, I'll just kind of unpack this a little bit further for you. You can always check it out at rootbrands.com/soul. I have not been an ambassador for any company except this one in my life. And I'm absolutely consciously and gratefully aligned with their mission to literally help save humanity. So we're going out there to save 100 million children's lives with the Roots wellness products. All right, Lisa Schermerhorn. Part 1 is, I had her on, it was amazing. Part 2 is about to drop. I mean, here you've got a Reiki master, a certified hypnotist, a peak performance coach to Fortune level executives and CEOs and entrepreneurs, and a shaman in her own right as well. So number 2 is about to come out, so stay tuned for that. You're gonna, I think, just love it. In fact, let me just go over here. Her book just came out 3 weeks ago now, and it's a bestseller already. Within the first week became a bestseller. Just go over to it and you'll see here in a moment exactly what she was saying on that interview in part 1.
I found out that the actual writing of the book was the easiest part. It took me 20 years to yeah, Roots was amazing again, because I have extreme ADD and I could never sit still. And that product was amazing because it really allowed me to focus in and sit for hours at a time, like 5 months.
What the lead up in the part 1 interview to that was, it took her 20 years where she wanted to write a book, didn't have the time, the focus, and that's one of the things she did. She finally sat down and just tapped into it, and it flowed through her. Really incredible stuff and powerful. I had an interview with Mark Atwood, breaking down to part 1 and part 2 as well, because that was nearly 2 hours. Absolutely amazing, and talking about how he's going to start teaching people how to call in the ships. And he was literally at a party with 30 people in Ireland just a few Saturdays ago. And they said, oh yeah, you're the guy, you can call in the ships, you know, and he's also got some other amazing healing and psychic capabilities. And here we are, right? A guy who is former Royal Air Force pilot, and built a 9-figure, 100 million pound plus, because it's British, UK pounds plus company. And he's doing this now. Incredible. So he called them all in, and people got to see it. They were filming it, and everywhere he goes every night, people can hang out with him, and you can see the ships that he's calling in, right? It's absolutely beautiful. The economy, September 1st right now. So parliaments like Canada, for example, and I imagine it's parliaments everywhere under the monarchy system that is about to come tumbling down. I believe behind the scenes, it feels like it already has, but we're just letting things play out so people can continue to wake up and not be shocked as much. Well, parliaments over the summer, like schools, go on break. Now they come back in. Like in Canada, the kids return to school next week. Same thing was supposed to be with Parliament, but in Canada, Justin Castro had made it months ago so that everybody will continue to work from home. So it's a Zoom meeting Parliament. So the enslavement from governments everywhere continues across the world, except for the people that stand up and have said they've had enough, like we saw most recently in Sri Lanka, like we continue to see with the Dutch farmers who are standing up and saying, you're not going to take our land, because they're taking their land. They said, we're going to expropriate it, right? The government's just going to take it. Remember the Latin term for government. Governus means to control, and ment in Latin is mentis, mind, to control mind. This is literally my control. And they laugh about it, right? So it's all about sovereignty, right? Not enslavement. And for any of you who, man, you're still not getting it, let's just take a look at this. This was just posted recently here on Twitter. And here we are. Trudeau, Public Safety Minister, announced Liberals will introduce new censorship legislation for the internet as quickly as possible. That was 2 days ago. What are they so afraid of, right? They're afraid of more of the truth. They're afraid of all of us, our souls uniting, like we've seen with the Canadian Freedom Convoy, with the Dutch farmers' protests all around the world rising up. They are afraid of you. We, as sovereign souls, when you tap into your sovereignty, you have to opt out of a system to be sovereign, and then you can use yourself in their system like a monopoly piece, which is great. you need to tap into that sovereignty, right? Here's one other example, which is just a wonderful image going across the internet, which is probably why they want to censor it. Heck, just 2 days ago, my interview with Jason Reed, Spotify, it went up and it was gone in 2 hours. And all they did was send an email that said that we violated their community guidelines. What were Jason and I talking about? I mean, it's lived on other platforms, folks. We were talking about stuff that they didn't want to hear. Had to do with some election stuff and had to do with some overturning. Didn't want to hear it, right? So while you're seeing this on YouTube, please do go subscribe to the Rumble channel. On Rumble, every single interview, uncensored, is there. Every single piece of information. We don't have to speak in code. It's there. So go to the Rumble, the Sovereign Soul Show. You'll see the Blinged Buddha there in the graphic, right? And you'll see the history of all of our shows right there so you can get real-time information and keep yourself apprised. All right. Now, we got to go to some of the funny memes. This is another wonderful one that was sent to me because you have to laugh, even though it is insane, of what is going on, especially in Canada, since it's a completely communist country right now, right? David Lametti, Justice Minister, the version of the Attorney General of the States, said that I literally in a press conference said, I don't believe Canadians have the right to personal property. We saw the legislation drafted in Saskatchewan. I sent it to my cousins in Saskatchewan last year. They didn't believe it. I'm like, this is the link to the provincial government's website. They didn't believe it. They're dismissive, right? Even with all evidence in front of certain people's faces, their brain just can't get to that belief system overturning. So, but yeah, they're going ahead and they're seizing people and they continue to wrap up political prisoners and throw them in jail in Canada. And we're fortunate to have seen at least 2 of them be released, Tamerlich and Arthur, that pastor. I know his name. Again, we're on YouTube here as well. So the majority of the masses are here on these platforms. So I have to speak in code. Hopefully it wakes all of them up, or you're curious enough to say, hey, let me go check in and see what else is happening. All right, so this is especially with the Labor Day weekend coming, people marking their social media pages. So the fibs and the irises will pass over them, right? Yeah, exactly. Do the virtue signaling, and then they'll think, oh yeah, you're one of us. Unbelievable, right? It's too funny. It's too funny. You have to have laughter, right? Love, levity, and liberty. All right. Here's another one. And this goes to the grooming that's going on in the classroom. I mean, in Missouri, last week, a school board passed legislation to allow for corporal punishment. Corporal punishment means you can take a paddle to children and smack their butts in class, and you can also smack them, open hand smack children. Corporal punishment, that's in Missouri, right? There's other school systems in Pennsylvania that are handing out puberty blockers, and it has LIPOR. I might be off with that. I'll have to pull it up for the stack from Dr. Northrup. But it's the same chemical they use to chemically castrate prisoners convicted of raping people. And that's what they're handing out to children right now. So this is just insane. The push on the agenda for you not to understand what your identity is, right? So you've got to be vigilant and also be sovereign. I mean, here's another example, perfect cartoon, right? The $600.01 Venmo transaction. Oh my gosh, I didn't file it. Here comes the iris. Well, remember, if you're sovereign and you understand and you've taken the steps to educate yourself, for example, if you don't live in the District of Columbia and you're not a federal employee, and if you've already seen the interviews that have been published everywhere, where they've been taken to court, the irises, and in front of judges, they have been called out and said, show us where there's a law that all citizens have to pay income tax. Interesting. Now, could that be for other countries around the world? Yes, we've seen that too, right? So do your research. Go check this out, folks, right? You don't have to just rely on every single person that you see or hear from. Check into that. And you can walk the way of your soul. That's your soul. Your soul is meant to be sovereign as a result of that. And coming from love, which is the most powerful form in the universe, and get rocking on that. Okay, cool. So I'll be right back later in a few hours with part 2 of the interview with the lovely Lisa Schermerhorn with her book, In Every Belief is a Lie, and the awakening process that she describes she had went through, which so many people in the world are going through. And it's important as well to have empathy and compassion for those who are going through the awakening process. I believe we all have. I've had mine as well, right? Having been going into the Canadian military, starting off as a reserve to become a peacekeeper, to eventually go full time, and finally had enough of an awakening and an agreement with my parents at the time that, nope, I've got to finish university, and off I go. And then we saw some other stuff, what happened a little over 20 years ago, and it just didn't resonate. It wasn't right. And now we know that. There's books published, there's case law that is there right now. So we have an awakening process. There's some that are a little slower to wake up. They're not as new in their souls here on the planet. So have some compassion and empathy, because the key thing is not to be divisive. That's exactly what they've been attempting to do. Ladies and gentlemen, right after this, I will unpack more of roots over the next several minutes, and how some of those case studies, tier 1 special operators to elite athletes to benevolent healthcare heroes and law enforcement who were forced out because they weren't taking that thing in the arm. They chose to stand for their sovereignty, their medical freedom. And now they're doing roots, and how the amazing stuff that's happening in their lives as a result of that. Otherwise, many blessings. Have yourself a lovely day. Please do like, share, and subscribe. Oh, by the way, we did have a few people have been asking me, lovely souls, regarding swag. How can they get the Bling Buddha? Well, we don't have a website. And in addition to that, we're looking into if there's any operators out there, beautiful, benevolent, enlightened businesses and website designers, if anybody's there, please have them get in contact with us. It would be a great exchange, so that anybody who places an order for a coffee mug with the Blinged Buddha, or they want a mouse pad with the Sovereign Soul logo, or a beautiful golf shirt like I had from Valhill Capital, they can certainly do so on the website, and that business is handling the customer service. All right, so feel free to share this out there with people where there might be a wonderful exchange and partnership that we can generate together. And of course, yes, then you'll have that wonderful swag and Christmas gifts with great quality as well. Many blessings, everybody. Stay in the vibration of love, faith, not fear, and be very diligent on taking care of yourself and creating energetic protection for yourself, especially these next few weeks with what's to come. Especially these next few weeks with what's to come. Thank you, everybody. Love you. Everybody, I want to tell you about the all-natural quantum wellness products that it helps reverse the nasty effects of those toxic arm thingies. You get it, right, Somers? This is roots. So here's the thing. It also dramatically heals your gut. It skyrockets creativity and it boosts mental focus. I've been using it for 8 months. An incredible amount of insight has come into it. When you go to therootbrands.com/soul, use the code SOUL, and you'll get $15 off applied to shipping of your next order. It also increases your biosphere. As a Reiki master, I can tell you that the vibrational uplift of these products is second to none. So here's the thing, they also have zero in product. This is what rapidly boosts consciousness with intention and decalcifies the pineal gland. What's so good about that? It also gives you incredible amounts of focus without caffeine. This is all natural. When you go to therootbrands.com/soul, use the code SOUL, you also get a new code for you, and you can set up your own distributor business. In fact, around the world, there are laid off benevolent healers, healthcare heroes, parents, and now tier 1 special operators no longer being deployed who have worked their careers to be benevolent and serve the greater good of humanity. Well, some of those people are making big chunks of money every single month by sharing these all natural products with people. And we're seeing amazing reviews. I mean, even with the Gimme Back My Youth product, which is all natural, there's women claiming their wrinkles have disappeared in just 5 to 7 days and they look 25 years younger. This is all natural. All of that and more when you visit rootbrands.com/soul. Use the code SOUL and you get $15 off applied to the shipping of your second order. By the way, when you add Roots Prime shipping, it often ships within just 2 business days to over 50 countries on the planet. And this makes it easy. You said it once, it sends to you every single month. Of course, you can cancel at any time, but when you see and feel the amazing effects of the world's first quantum consciousness, nootropic, and natural detoxifier, then why would you want to? In fact, I just had 3 separate guests on my show, from a psychic to a director, from the UK and Ireland, all the way across North America to a best-selling author. All 3 of these amazing humans are using Roots, and they cannot say enough about its incredible virtues and how it's affected them and made positive impressions on their life and in their biosphere and their ethereal light bodies. So this includes removing the deadly graphene oxide and the heavy metals. Clean Slate is one of those from the system. You know what I mean here. You know, if you know, you know, right? Health is wealth, right? And doctors agree shedding is a thing. We've seen that from Dr. Martin, Dr. Thorpe, Dr. Christian Northrup, Dr. Jane Ruby, Dr. Ariana Love. There are so many medical studies now showing that the shedding from people who have got it, even onto the people that are purebloods, those purebloods are being affected. So the Roots products, the Trinity Plus pack, is one of the most amazing all-natural products that not only protects your body, but anything you come into contact with, it'll shed and remove it from you with grace and ease. As a major reinsurance CEO in the United States recently declared in his Nuremberg deposition, his company has seen a 5,000% increase in mortality of their policyholders in the past year. So to help combat shedding, you order the Trinity Pack Plus. It comes with the Clean Slate, all right, which is drops that you just put under your mouth, a few a day. You'll find the protocol there, as well as one of these 0-in tablets that give you incredible clarity, creativity, and tap into higher levels of consciousness, which your soul is craving for. And this also helps protect your loved ones naturally. So you detoxify your body while amplifying your day with incredible energy and laser-like focus. Who doesn't want that, right? That's exactly what we have right now. So join tens of thousands of people around the globe now enjoying their best life because of these incredible American-made all-natural health products, which heal the body and massively boost the consciousness of each soul. You go to therootbrands.com/soul. Add Roots Prime to it. Use the code SOUL at checkout, and you'll get $15 off applied to the shipping of your second order. And they'll send you a link that you can use, if you choose, to have your own distribution business to generate massive amounts, potentially, of monthly recurring income. Thanks for joining us on the program, ladies and gentlemen. Please like, follow, subscribe, share this with 9 friends and family. And of course, if you enjoy our blinged Buddha firing red pills from his 9mm, let us know.